Okay, might as well get started.
Okay.
So, in front of you, you all have this 2-page handout. We're going to be working with some of the scripts, but why scripts? So, getting to you as with your clients. So, why scripts? You are the expert and need to lead the conversation. So, every conversation that we go into when we're selling, we are leading the conversation. No matter if you're a new agent, a very experienced agent, you are the expert, and you have to take the reins in leading that conversation where it needs to go. When you lead the conversation, you can predict the end result. Basically, all the objections that you get from your clients or the client that is in front of you, somebody's already gotten through that objection. What it is really asking more questions, asking for more information. So if you frame it to the mindset that, when he's saying, I'm not ready to move. Okay, so that objection is like, okay, well, you're not ready to move, I guess so I'll talk to you later, or what? But if you reframe it and say, okay, that's really just a question about his readiness, like what his motivations are, and go along that line, you're ready to rephrase it to, okay, so why do you want to sell your house? Like, obviously we're having this conversation for a reason. Why are you not ready to move? And then you find out A, B, C, D. And then from that conversation, you can answer more questions, right? So, leading the conversation with questions. You're there to ask more questions and to listen and to write down versus talking to. There is a certain point in the selling conversation that you will have to do most of the talking, but that's really way after you've done all the question asking and you really understand the client. And then we go into neuro-linguistic programming, knowing how to frame your questions and conversations to lead to a predictable outcome. So all of these scripts, and at Keller Williams we have a ton of scripts. I know that you purchased the book. So these are the ones that I printed out are the scripts from KW Maps Coaching. So they've all been vetted by Diana Kokoska, which she's a legend within our company. She started selling real estate in a buyer's market. She became the #1 listing agent in a buyer's market while taking 2 of her kids around with her in a red wagon door knocking. So she didn't let that stuff, like she didn't have babysitting, she took the kids with her. She just did it. So she's the one who she's the one who came up with most of these scripts, and then they had a bunch of experts look at them, and with the neuro-linguistic programming, it's about how to frame your conversations and your questions, and you knowing that you are the lead, you knowing where to branch off from this objection or that objection. When you lead the conversation, you are that much more trusted to be the leader and the expert in what you're saying. And more on framing later. So handling objections. Think of it in terms of athletics. Every hit a football player takes, they get knocked down the first time, but the next time they are prepared for the hit. So imagine just like a football game, right? Like it's muscle memory, obviously. Why do football players practice so much? Why do they take so many hits? Why don't they just, okay, well, I know I'm going to get hit, and I got to get up eventually, then why don't I just play a game like that? No, they get hit, they get up, they get hit, they get up, they get hit. The faster they get up, and then that's your objection. That's your objection. And some people, if they don't practice enough, they get hit, they fall down, and they don't get up. But in terms of you as a real estate agent to handle those objections, you have to be ready for that hit. You have to be ready for that no, and you have to be ready for continuing on, getting up and continuing on and following through and getting that much closer to your finish line. So, but the next time they're prepared for the hit, in our case objection, and move forward with their game, which is exactly how you should think about it. So one thing that I like to do, this is something that I've learned in my team leader role versus my agent days, because I did do a lot of calling as an agent, but I didn't go as far as to write down things. So I actually write down the objections that I face and the objections that I think are the problem. So when I talk to an agent and I didn't get an appointment, or they were really quick to shut me down or something like that, and then, so like for example, I'm not looking to change brokerages right now, have a great day. I'll be like, okay, have a great day. You know, and then I talked to somebody, I wrote down that objection and I said, okay, what do I say when they say you're not looking to change your brokerages right now? Well, I'm not looking for you to come and join. I do want to have a conversation about your business because I see your numbers right now and your business has gone down a significant amount. I'm wondering if it's, you know, family related, or if you're just, you know, transitioning from away from the business. Like, what is your plan? And that just keeps the conversation going, right? I didn't say, oh, okay, thank you very much and have a good day. But I have so many times that I wrote down the objection that I was like, okay, I need to get over that. And that is not their issue, that's my issue. Like, I could have gotten, if I got over it that last time, then I should have gotten over it the 9 times before, but I need to fail those 9 times in order to make that conversation happen on the 10th try. So if you're like, for instance, I don't know, my objections that I faced as a realtor, I'm not ready to buy yet. Okay, no problem. Should I call you back in a month? Yes, call me back in a month, maybe I'll be ready. They won't be ready because you're not asking, you're just calling. They're not going to be ready, and they're not going to be ready to buy with you because you did not ask the right questions. And that's something that I learned, because I'd be very diligent about following up. But what is a follow-up if they don't see me as an expert, if I haven't established the trust that I can lead a conversation, I'm asking the right questions that are important for them in order to take that next step, right? So the next step would be like, okay, you're not ready. So why is that? What would have moved you for you? Why do you think you're not ready right now? Okay, is it a financial thing? Is it that you don't have your finances in order? Like, you keep probing them. Okay, I have a great finance guy that could answer this problem that you think you have in the back of your head. You don't say that to them, but you know, that you think you have, and think it's just moving them forward in the process. Because if you say, okay, I'll follow up in 2 months to see if you're ready, they will never be ready. Just saying. One time, it was a condo on like a power place. I literally called them. I listened to their life story maybe 5 times, and I kept following up with like market trends and things like that, but I wasn't asking the right questions. I wasn't asking enough questions. And at the end they told me, oh, we're gonna sell with somebody else, but you're so great. We love chatting with you. And in my head I'm like, love chatting with you too, but you know, I didn't get the sale, which hurt so badly. But that's all me, because I didn't ask them. I chose to listen to their life stories. What's the point of that? I mean, there is a thing. It's, you know, once you get the business going, once you let them talk about whatever you want, but you can't help them in their life. You're there as an expert in real estate. You can't be a psychotherapist to them. You can't be a life coach. You can't be their friend. You can't. So that's why you need to ask real estate related questions. Okay, so we're gonna go to YouTube now. This is meant, okay, so a big deal for me right now is framework. Framework in which you, phrase your questions in. For full effect, I have to turn it on. Why is it not turning on? Anybody? Anybody? Can you help?
What's up?
Is it? Oh, it's thinking. Is it thinking? No, let's search.
I'm trying to put the video on the TV.
Okay. Let's try
One second.
this. There's something that needs to be done, but I don't know what it is. Mm. Amazing. Okay, so this is about framework and how you frame things. You know, we see a lot of, there are a lot of successful realtors. Why are they so successful? Like, you're just as good looking as them, you're just as ambitious as them, you dress just as nice as them. There's really like, why is it that they're getting a yes and you're getting a no, right? So would you agree that these realtors know their stuff?
Yeah.
Like, know their market, know what they're doing. Do you think that you know just as much as them? You don't?
Getting there.
Yeah. For the most part, you probably do know just as much as them. Maybe 10%. Maybe 10%. You know 90% of the 100 that they know.
Yeah, but it's that 10%. It's like you could
Right.
say, I know everything about the market, I know as much as they do, but I don't know how to close a deal. That might be 1% of that knowledge.
And so
Right,
what do you
for the
think
most
that
part.
is? You don't know how to close that deal. Why?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily how much information, it's what information.
Yeah.
So how many percent agent in our office are active?
I'm sorry?
How many percent agent in our office are active agent?
Active agents?
Yeah.
I can probably tell you how many are inactive. I think out of 80 people, 15 are completely inactive. And our top 20% are, top 20% that make way above cap. And then there's about that middle ground that are comfortable with just making cap. And then the rest are kind of half cappers, quarter cappers. We have a very big variety, but
Because I saw a lot of office, only 10% of agent they work active.
well,
Yeah,
I'm
only
gonna tell you
10%.
something.
10% of agent can make about 200,000 per year. Other one,
Okay,
much less.
Adam, I'm going to be right back. 1 second.
It look like real estate agent, right? To ask for money for people.
He looks hungry. He might be hungry.
The different way that we are knocking the door and we sitting, that's all. Long time no see you.
Okay, ladies and gents, this is a statistic that I'm incredibly proud of. And you can tell all of your friends about it because this is something that the KW culture should be incredibly proud of. Okay, this is productivity in the city of Toronto by real estate brand. So like not real estate office, there's a few Keller Williams offices, there's a few a lot of Remax offices. So just to let you know, our market share in Toronto is not that huge. Our market share, we're about 550 agents compared to the 3,300 Remax agents in the city of Toronto. Remax agents pay a lot of desk fees, we don't. This is productivity. So I get this from IMS. It's a software that we pay for as a brokerage to know about statistics of people, our market, agents in our market. So I can pull up an agent, I know their sales history, everything like that. Okay, due to us being, so basically, every company here is in size is larger than us. Like in size as in like agent count, we're last. But what we are first in is units per agent sold.
We're
Which
first
means
in units.
Units per agent sold. which means
That's
that,
amazing.
We are working
out of,
more effective than other.
what?
We are more effective agent than other, right?
Exactly. That means two things. So that means the total count of the units that our offices sell, it's more of a spread. It's not just the big mega agents making the money.
Right.
It's spread more evenly to the half cappers, the quarter cappers, whoever you want to be in that category, it's spread more evenly. And think about this, think about the fact that, okay, we're 550 strong. Remax is a whole unit behind us, they're 3.8. Next group is Royal LePage, they're 3.6. So that means like, you know, these people are paying, you know, these agents are paying desk fees and you know, they're not information sharing, they're not knowledge sharing, they don't have the strong character, whatever. I don't want to, you know, sales pitch. Anyways, we're good. We're good and we're going to be better and we're going to have more
Well,
market share.
You're saying we're productive,
We're productive.
like more so than Remax and Royal LePage.
Exactly.
So 3.6 exactly is what number, like for Royal LePage, for instance? Can you just say it one more time?
Yeah,
So if
so
you take the
Yeah.
total number of
Yeah.
the units
sold.
that the entire brokerage has sold and divide it by the number of agents they have.
Okay,
It look like GDP.
and ours is what number?
4.8.
So
So
our productivity is much
so
stronger. Got
yes.
it.
So
Thank you.
divided per
Yeah.
agent. So per agent on average, now again, this is including the mega agents and the non-producing agents or the very new agents. We are producing 4.8 units per agent. We're selling 4.8 units per agent. Whereas the
Oh.
next best competitor is selling 3.8
I
units
see.
per
Average.
agent. Average.
And which company is that?
Sorry,
Got it.
Which company does?
Remax.
Remax.
Remax is
And
the
Royal
next best.
LePage?
3.8.
Oh,
And
And
then
Royal
the next one is
Royal
Royal
LePage
LePage was
about
3.6.
Yeah,
So you know what my job is, right?
because I came from Royal LePage and so did most of my team, so I'm interested in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what you're saying is Royal LePage has more people, but a lot more people that aren't very productive in Royal.
exactly.
Got it.
Well, you could just say,
Yeah.
for example, both brokerages sold the same number of units, but Keller Williams has less agents.
Yeah,
Or they have the same number of agents and Keller Williams sold more units.
yeah,
One of the two has to change.
yeah, okay.
Well, it's just, yeah, we're,
Thank you.
per agent, our company is more productive than
Yes.
our next
On
competitors. On average.
Got it.
On average, per agent, our company is much more productive.
No, but it's important to understand.
So important.
Yeah,
So important. When I saw this statistic, because obviously, you know, in my recruiting efforts, I have to be able to present the strongest part of Keller Williams.
yeah,
We don't have a lot of market share, which I will be asking for your help in come the Power Growth meeting on January 24th. We will be going through how we can increase our market share to benefit us as agents, us as a company, and other agents as well, because we are a fantastic company to work for, Keller Williams. And anyways, we'll get into that later. The most important thing is this, the framework which you put it in, right? So how come this big agent and how come they got that way and they're getting a yes, but you are working just as hard? Okay, so let's say different frame. You and a colleague of yours started out at the same time, finished school at the same time, finished your license at the same time. He's doing amazing, and I know he's not, he's just a good person. He dresses well, he's had a sales job for most of his life, he's just using his transferable skills to build his real estate business. You too, you dress well, you present yourself well, you've also come from a sales background. How come you're not getting a yes? And I conclude from all of the things that I've seen, Tony Robbins, NERCA, like neuro-linguistic programming, that it is absolutely the framework in which you put it in. The framework in which you phrase your question in, which you phrase the conversation in. This is a video that will show you, anyways, let's watch the video and you can tell me how you feel about it.
I wrote the same. In different words.
Did everybody hear that?
I
So
wrote the
what
same
did you
different
do?
words.
Exactly.
Oh,
What kind of emotion does that invoke in you?
pity.
But hopefulness and pity,
Yeah.
and it makes you think how grateful you should be for today and that you have eyes to see.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was just pity and despair, correct?
Yeah.
But you know what it is? There's actually a book that I was reading, and it sort of outlines the benefit of reading between the lines, just throughout life, and understanding what people are saying a level below the surface, not just taking everything for face value. When you say, please help, I'm blind, that's the meaning of what you're trying to say, that's it. But when you're saying, it's a beautiful day and I can't see it, you're implying those emotions, and it, I think it's more meaningful.
Absolutely. So, okay, so change your words and change your world. Now, the scripts. So we've got, you got the copy of the scripts, and I had a really difficult time, as I'm sure that many of you did, with learning scripts. When I did learn my listing presentation, it was amazing. I felt really good about presenting it. It was the shortest little presentation. I learned it in bold. I took the bold course, and it was 2 pages. The feedback that I got from that presentation was wonderful. They didn't end up selling, but not just, they didn't end up selling. But it wasn't because my presentation was bad. But anyways, so words are incredibly important, very important. And like Trish Much said in her Keeping Your Commissions course, she started learning scripts in bold as soon as she came on board at Keller Williams. She started learning scripts. That's why Trish gets 2.54 and 2.75 on, she never cuts her commission. She keeps her commission, and she actually charges more than the market. It's no secret. She charges 6% on listings. Up to 6% on listings. And on buys, if somebody doesn't, if the listing agreements is saying that, the buyer gets 2%, she says, you're gonna have to top me up. And she has a framework and a conversation for those situations. And she makes no secret about it. She says she learned everything from scripts. She internalized these scripts. Words are incredibly important. And should you want to succeed, if you're going to be successful, scripts are the way to go. Then we get to the actual scripts. So these are the seller scripts. And I wanted to show you sorry guys, I don't know that. James.
Yep.
I don't know. Could you get me back to this?
You want up there?
Yeah. Cool, but, oh, and then you get the script. Anything. Yeah. So we are going to be right here. So the 3 scripts that I've chosen for our session today are seller scripts, because the Millionaire Real Estate Agent does write to focus on your listings, because that way you get exposed to the market with your signage, and you have, you have a lot more options when you are a listing agent. For every listing, you're supposed to get a buy which if you focus on listings, the buys will come. That's what the Millionaire Real Estate Agent textbook teaches us. So the 3 scripts that I chose for this session is, the other realtor said he would reduce his commissions to 4%. That will save us a lot of money. So basically keeping your commission script, right? Okay. So if you look at your thing, so agent, boy, that sounds great up front. Let me tell you what concerns me about that. Look at all the number of homes on the market and look at the number of homes that have sold. Quite a difference, huh? Yes. You said you had to be in Mississauga and you wanted to be there at the end of March with your family, which means that this home has to be sold in February. So that means in 30 days, right? Right, that's right. So if your home is offering less money to agents to show your home and another home that is close in square footage and floor plan to be yours, is offering them, the agent, more money, which one are they going to show? The one that offers them the most money. That's right. No different than going to work and being presented with 2 job offers that are identical, take the same amount of time and effort, and yet one pays more than the other. Would you take the one that pays, that most pay like the realtors, right? Sorry, thinking about something else, right? Do you want me to keep helping, do you want me to keep helping other homes sell? Or do you really want to be in Mississauga by February in 30 days? The choice is yours. Still in the market in 20 days or possibly sold and closed in 30 days. Anyways, you have to go through it.
Well, what the person's gonna say is, no, offer them 2.5%, I only want you to take 1.5%, right? I mean, this is assuming that
Yeah, so then Lisa, then you say, okay, so you want me to get the most money for you, but you want to pay me less?
yeah,
Yes, okay, yes. So you want me to negotiate at my best with the end result of your money in mind, but you're only paying me, you don't think I'm worth my negotiation skills. So it's just another script, right?
yep.
Mm-hmm. Just like
we
what,
come up against this a lot, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Exactly. Okay. So number 2, the seller has unrealistic expectations about the value of their home. So these were strategic in the way that I've picked them, because when we were doing our market center financials, we are in a bit of a shift right now, correct, James? Lisa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right, we're in a bit of a shift. The homes are going down for less. So having realistic expectations for your sellers and for which price their home is going to sell, it's incredibly important, because then if it sells for what you tell them that it's going to sell for, if you promise and over deliver, it's going to look that much better on you. But if you say that it's going to sell for 1.7 and you can only get 1.4 for it, how are you going to look like? You really, you're not going to feel good about yourself, you're not going to feel good about the work that you're doing, your client, and then it's going to reflect on your client and be like, well, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, it just sets off a whole chain of unfortunate events. So there's a framework for that, right? We just want to try a higher price for a couple of weeks, and then we'll reduce it if we don't get an offer. Mr. Seller, here's one of the most important reasons you hire a fiduciary consultant, which is you as an agent instead of a salesperson. Wouldn't it be a lot easier for me just to agree with you right now? Yes, I guess it would. Mr. Seller, I understand the price you get for your home is important to you and you want the highest price possible, right? Right. Here's the number of all the properties for sale and here's the number of all the properties sold. So you can see that the sold number is much smaller than the for sale number, which is exactly relevant to our market right now. Agent, luckily you are becoming aware that only the homes that are priced right make it on the sold list. Does that make sense? That makes sense. You want to buy a new home and you want your home to be sold in this time frame, correct? Correct. In order to sell your home, we need to price it right. Don't you agree? I agree. You want the highest price the market will bear. Frankly, you need a realtor that understands the market and can interpret it like me. Let's choose a price that will get it sold, okay? Let's do it. So again, this conversation won't necessarily end at, okay, let's do it. It might veer off into, okay, do you really think it's the right time to sell? This is my retirement nest. So then you go into your tools of agent resources and say, okay, where are we in this shift? Is it gonna be harder to get a mortgage? Or is it gonna be easier in the next year to get a mortgage? And you make the recommendation based on that. Okay, Mr. Seller, as we know, they're talking about another interest rate hike. Do you think that you'll get more buyers or less buyers after that interest hike? Like, I mean, it's a silly question, right? But you have to ask it, because then it'll frame the silliness of it, because they'll answer their own questions. You'll get less buyers, so why are you gonna wait to sell your house? We need to price it right, and we need to sell it now, because in a year from now, it might be a completely different story with the rate hikes, right? And number 3, I kind of just, this is really important. The seller may not be willing to bring his property up to standard. So, not willing to bring his property up to standard. So, in order for us to be able to, like, obviously, we all put in a cushion for cleaning and bringing the property up to standard. If there are any other additional repairs, like, you know, nose job versus a facelift, like if it's an, I think that's what she said. Lipstick, oh, if it's a lipstick versus a nose job. So, if it's a nose job, then it's like structural and windows and something like that, and they have to pay for it. Otherwise, it's gonna come out from their price and how they price it. You know, if it's a lipstick, if it's a little bit of extra paint, you've got room for that in your budget, and it's part of your seller presentation, right? So let's look at the script. So that's script number 6. What does it say about that? Seller's objection. All the agents that have been through have loved our home and have told us how nice it is. Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. You do have a very nice property, otherwise I wouldn't be here. The ultimate question is, are those realtors going to buy your house? Well, no, I don't think so. Just out of curiosity, let's pretend you were a realtor. In order to make money, you have to attract buyers so you can sell them a home, and you know that most buyers call from the signs in the front of homes. How many signs would you want to have out to attract buyers? As many as are good. That's right, all realtors would. And let's say you came to my home and you didn't care if my home sold, as long as you can get a sign in front and attract a lot of buyers. Might you tell me anything I wanted to hear in order to get your sign in front of my house, attract a lot of buyer calls, and sell them other houses? Yes. The agents that were here before may not have as high of standards that I do. Maybe that's why the homes that have my signs in front of them also have sold signs on them. You want an agent that tells the truth, right? Yes, I do. Believe me, if I didn't care if your home sold for top dollar and I just wanted the buyers off your sign, I would be telling you the same thing as other realtors, right? There's typos in here. It is important that you know, 1, I tell the truth no matter how uncomfortable it is. 2, I get sellers more money than most any other realtor in my area. And 3, I get more money in less time because the standards I have for my sellers are placing their home on the market in the best possible conditions, so it screams value over all the other homes a buyer is comparing their home to. Because my sellers want the most money and the quickest sale possible, they bring their home to the high standards, and you do want the most money, right? Seller, absolutely. So, this gives you the framework to have tough conversations, to steer your clients in the way that you need them to go in, and you're not shying away from it. You're not shying away from the tough conversations. And does anyone have any questions? because I have one final thought to share with you. Adam? How do you feel?
I have totally different picture from
Yeah.
real estate, right? I don't need to go to talk to anybody, so it's just want to hear story.
You just wanted to hear? Okay. So basically you've got people coming in,
Yeah.
you're getting your leads, people
Yeah, I
know
don't need
you.
to knock any door to call anybody.
Yeah.
It's a different thing, right? But anyway,
Amazing.
this is a
That's
valuable
good.
stuff here for the new agent.
Yeah.
They are interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Educate themselves how to compete that, but I don't believe that 6% will get a lot of agents to get that.
I'm sorry?
I don't believe that 6% you will get a lot of clients. I don't believe in that. Because right now a lot of agents in city of Toronto, I think about more than 50,000, at least 10% of them working at ship. And
Adam,
in the area, it's very, very famous team. It's, I think Team Babiak is from Ukraine too.
yeah.
Theodore Babiak, he charged me 4.5%. And I saw
No,
the,
she wins against
I
them.
saw the Asian in my
I know
area
that.
almost
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Adam, she
Yeah.
goes against him, she wins,
Yeah.
and she does a lot of deals.
Yeah, but
Is she doing another one of those
I agree.
courses again? Because I missed it last
Yeah,
week.
she didn't want to be taped because like some realtors are just, she's like, I swear, I don't want to take it.
Who are we talking about?
Trish Much.
Choose much.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she been in market only for less than 10 years, right?
Trish?
Yes. She
Yeah,
been-
well, yeah, and
She been
Babiak has
only less
been,
than 10 years, yeah, so the thing might be up and down, who knows? Because she saw only the good time. In the last 10 years, very good time.
Adam,
but
I
yeah.
can guarantee you, she's happy to share her numbers. The statistics that we showed on her numbers, we actually took out from the multi-year trends in our office. I know her numbers, I know exactly that, you know, she sells to, from 60 to 80%, $80,000 more per listing in average. That's where I got that statistic. So I can verify, I can, like, I know her
But the
numbers.
difficult
She
thing,
has steady business, she has excellent business.
but the good thing from her, because she was a builder, and she know how to fix the house.
Yes, yeah,
And she offer
that's the
people how to
value,
fix, how to change.
absolutely.
Many of you are not builder, right? You are
Yes.
not, you have no idea how to fix everything, right? How to
Absolutely.
review the house, and I think you cannot compete with her for that,
She
condition, right?
actually said how to compete with her. She actually,
You
so,
have to consider that, right? Because not everybody's looking for that full service.
yeah,
No, actually, people right now, they, actually in 2019, we are going to see the downturn of the market. And in order to sell the house, we need to make it nicer and better. And competition everywhere, right? So it's an option from the street, it's a very good option. Because how to handle from the bad house to the good house, how much money the seller should spend, 20,000 or 50,000 for mini reno, right?
mhm,
So it's a
mhm.
totally different picture. So it's good for her that she have background, I think the lead of the contractor, and everything she know how to do it, and she do it cheaper than others.
No, honestly, I get what you're saying. I understand completely. The focus isn't on Trish. I'm just setting her as an
Yeah,
example.
so
I
we need
think
to learn.
we have a lot of people who are charging full commission and they're definitely not budgeting. But that's just one part of it, right? The other part is, you know, realistic expectations about the value of their home. It's like setting so you've now signed the contract, now you're talking about what you're gonna list the home for. Okay, so, that's another framework that you can talk
I
to.
see in Vancouver, the city bigger and more expensive than Toronto, right?
Mhm.
And they charge less commission than in Toronto. In
Well,
Vancouver only,
Actually, I don't wanna make this about a commissions conversation, only because I believe that we need to be paid a fair amount of money. Like, I really believe that, and I think that,
We work hard.
what?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
work hard.
work hard, really hard.
But someone wants to work 14 hours a day.
Somebody wants to work 14 hours a day?
I do.
Yeah.
Because with all the research and everything else,
Yeah,
door knocking,
yeah,
when I'm selling a house, I'm working with 14 hours a day.
exactly. Well, it takes about,
But yours
What
looks
was your
so
final
nice, so
point, did you say?
you work hard.
yes, yes, sorry, no, I didn't say.
Oh,
So the final point is that many of you, many realtors, me included, I'm like, this is not me, this does not sound like me, I don't wanna learn this by word. So you know what I started? I started just rewriting them in my laptop, and then I was just like, oh, but maybe the way that I'm writing it, it's not neurolinguistics program, NLP, neurolinguistic programming. And then I didn't learn a script, I didn't learn the script that I rewrote. My advice to you is, and the best way that I see this working, is learn it word for word. Word for word. Take the guessing out of it. Well, you don't have to listen. If you don't want, you're good.
good.
Are you
Take
holding
the,
real estate license?
what?
Are you holding real estate license?
I hold my license.
Oh,
I have it.
So basically you're saying to learn these scripts
Word for
word
word.
for word,
Word for word.
commit them to memory.
Exactly.
so
Word
to-
for word.
So today they see you, tomorrow
Because
they
your
see
tongue
other
also
guy,
holds
same
muscle
story.
memory. And if anything, your tongue will start working and will ask the right questions.
The intention though is not to just repeat the script to them. Right? The idea is if you commit it to memory, you've learned it and you can apply it and you can adjust it.
You can say it naturally to them.
Exactly.
As if
Yeah,
it's
and put it in
coming
your
from
own
your
words,
heart.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no problem. Okay,
Thank you.
yes,
That was
oh,
awesome.
good.
I'll be back.
So glad, yes.
There's one thing that I say when people want lower commission,
Mm-hmm,
and I didn't hear you mention, but it might be okay if I say it so people can hear. I will point out the things which you say here that, buyers who agents who want to show homes where they get a better commission.
mm-hmm,
But I will also say if an agent is willing to accept less,
mm-hmm.
it means that they're very poor at negotiating, because if they're talking to you face to face and they can negotiate with you for their own commission,
Yeah,
how could you trust them to negotiate behind your back when you're not there for them?
yeah, to give up my, yeah, absolutely.
And you
They
can
give
even
up,
say that after, like, if they see that you're sticking to your guns on the commission, you can even, like you said, bring that up, like, don't you want someone who's able to negotiate on
For
your
you.
behalf?
Yeah.
Exactly.
better for your, and then another thing, with competing with Team Babiak and everything like that, one really good point to mention is that Team Babiak is looking for numbers. His name is not gonna be on the listing, you'll never get a hold of Babiak, you won't. It's physically impossible to get a hold of him because he's got so many listings going and he's just after the numbers. Because if he gets the numbers, it doesn't matter that he sells it at full commission. As long as he gets the numbers, he'll get the volume to get him to the numbers that he needs to be at, he wants to be at, right? So really, show him Babiak's listing and you say, okay, see this is his name, this is his office number, right? Okay, you won't be able to get a hold of, your clients won't be, the buyers that are looking to buy your homes will not be able to get a hold of him. This is his assistant, or this is his listing agent. Again, their office number, they don't even have a cell phone number. You won't be able to get a hold of them, that's not gonna happen. So do you want an agent to work for you that has your best interests in mind, has the most money in mind for you? Because for them, it's just volume. They're gonna price your listing, they're gonna sell it how they feel like selling it because they're gonna get it sold at 4%. I know that I'm gonna get you more money. And actually, what I can do for you, if you wanna have a conversation about commissions, I have a fantastic statistic to share with you in the city of Toronto. I actually have a breakdown of what pool of money is at the 5% commission, at the 4.5%, at the 4%, at the 3.5%, and believe it or not, we are in the billions for the 5% commission. So most of the market will bear a commission of 5%. Most of the market. That's the biggest piece of the pie at full commission.
Are you saying this to Adam, or are you saying it for Adam to tell it to the clients?
No, I'm saying it for all of you. But if he wants evidence that there's a big, huge
I,
piece of pie at 5%, then yeah, totally.
I would love to ask you for 5 minutes for meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my office, absolutely.
I go to your office.
Okay, guys, I would suggest, thank you so much for coming. I hope you were able to get something good out of it that you can implement in your business. That's the most important thing. And go out there and sell homes.
I want to learn this thing.
Thank you for your help. Thank
problem.